Yes. Good afternoon, all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Right. So I hope I am audible and visible. Right. Let me share the screen. Okay. Right. So yesterday we finished up to page number 11. We need to start from page number 12 onwards this day. So A Limited entered into an agreement with B Limited to supply 100 kg of raw material. However, A Limited supplies only 80 kg of raw material and issues the invoice for the same. So, what is the actual agreement made for? The actual agreement is made for 100 kgs. But as a first installment, how many kgs were supplied? 80 kgs. To what extent invoice was issued? Invoice was issued for 80 kgs only. Therefore, here the supply is deemed to have been made for 80 kgs only. That is, only to the extent it is covered by the invoice. Therefore, you have to determine the time of supply. You have to determine the time of supply for the 80 kgs only, but not the 100 kgs. Now, how can I tell you about this? Because I will show you the wording in the provision wherein it is stated that in subsection 2, what is stated is, in subsection 2, what is stated is explanation 1. For the purpose of clause A and clause B, the supply shall be deemed to have been made to the extent it is covered by the invoice, as the case may be the payment. So, though the agreement is made for 100 kgs, as a first installment 80 kgs was supplied and invoice is also issued for 80 kgs. Invoice is also issued for 80 kgs. So, therefore, the time of supply is determined for only 80 kgs, but not for 100 kgs. This is by virtue of the explanation given to section 12 subsection 2. Okay, that you should understand. Moving forward, now, actually, for time of supply, what we have learned, forward charge goods. Time of supply, forward charge goods. What we have learned? We have learned that as per the powers conferred by section 148, central government has issued a notification number 66/2017. Okay, wherein it is stated that a registered person should pay GST on outward supply of goods at the time of supply as specified in 12(2)AA. Date of issue of invoice or the last date on which is the invoice is ought to have been issued. So what is the significance? The significance is that date of payment should not be considered. You have to consider only 12(2)A only. 12(2)A only you have to consider. What is 12(2)? 12(2) is with regard to supply of goods forward charge. supply of goods, forward charge. Now here A and B 2 points are there. B is date on which suppliers receives the payment. What they are saying, don't take into consideration this point. Don't take into consideration this point. You consider only this point, means date of invoice or date on which the last date on which invoice is ought to have been issued. You take only that point. This is as per notification number 66/2017. Now this notification has issued having regard to the powers conferred to the central government under section 148 of the CGST Act. So what you have to understand is this non-applicability of date of receipt of payment by the supplier is applicable only to supply of goods forward charge, but not supply of goods reverse charge, because supply of goods reverse charge is dealt by subsection 3. Subsection 3. Here you have date of payment. Now this date of payment is not suspended. Only the date of receipt of payment by the supplier in the case of goods forward charge is only suspended. So for reverse charge, for determining time of supply of reverse charge goods, you should definitely take into consideration the date of payment. That you should understand. So that is what has been told here. Now what is date of receipt of payment by the supplier? Means the date on which the entry is recorded, the payment is recorded in the books of account of the supplier, or the date on which the amount is credited in the bank account of the supplier, whichever is earlier. That is date of receipt of payment. Now, significance of to the extent the invoice or payment covers the supply of goods. So, the example already we have learned. Suppose A agreed to supply to B 100 kgs of rice. Only 80 kgs of rice is supplied and invoice is also raised for this 80 kgs only. Then you have to determine the time of supply for this 80 kgs only. The time of supply is not determined for the 100 kgs because invoice is raised only for 80 kgs. You have to take a time of supply for 80 kgs only. Now, goods forward charge. What is the time of supply? Time of supply is date of invoice or date of last date on which the invoice is ought to have been issued, whichever is earlier. There is another point with regard to the date of receipt of payment by the supplier that has been suspended by virtue of notification number 66/2017, and this notification has been issued on the recommendation of the GST Council and by the powers vested in the central government under section 148 of the CGST Act. Right? Now, the invoice or tax invoice means, as we have learned yesterday, means a document issued under section 31 of the CGST Act. So section 31 deals with invoice. By what time the invoice has to be issued for sale or for supply of goods? For supply of goods, the invoice needs to be issued before or at the time of removal of goods where the supply involves movement. where the supply involves movement of goods, then you have to issue it at the time of or before removal. What do you mean by the supply involves movement of goods? I sold goods to B of Hyderabad. I sold goods to B of Hyderabad. Where are the goods? They are ascertained goods. They are ascertained goods. Ascertained goods means already those goods are lying in my godown. Those goods are lying in my godown. Now I am stationed at a Vijayawada. Somebody, a prospective buyer, Mr. B from Hyderabad, placed an order with me for supply of these goods. Now, this supply of goods, chargeable on forward charge basis, occasions the movement of goods. Because if I want to appropriate the ascertained goods towards the contract for a purchase of B, then I should move the goods from Vijayawada to Hyderabad. Now, the invoice is to be raised now today, 13th of August. I am sending it to Hyderabad through a goods transport agency. The time I remove from my godown or before that, I should raise an invoice. Right? Next. Suppose the supply does not involve movement of goods, then invoice is to be raised at the time of delivery of goods or making goods available to the recipient. Where the supply of goods does not involve movement of goods. Now, how can you supply without there being movement of goods? Now, let me tell you an example. Let me tell you an example of when it will happen. Suppose I have a shop at Abits, Hyderabad. At Abits, Hyderabad, I have a shop. A customer has walked in to my shop for purchase of goods. Now I am stationed at my shop. I don't myself or my shop won't move anywhere. There are goods displayed in my shop. This fellow has walked into my shop. He asked to buy this product. I readily accepted. I delivered it to him. So at the time of delivery or before delivery, I should raise the invoice. Suppose I built a rice mills. For a rice mill to function, it requires rice mill machinery. Rice mill machinery should be installed by someone. So one Mr. X, I am a famous rice mill machinery installation expert. Now I have a client who deals with installation of dal mill machinery. If anyone wants to build a dal mill, they will contact my client. my client, what he does, he go to their place. Let us suppose someone from Khammam, someone in Khammam want to build a or set up a rice mill. First of all, he should take a premises. In that premises, the rice mill machinery is to be installed, first of all. So they called my client. He went there with some raw material, machinery, etc. And what he has done, for a period of 10 days, he has set up this machinery in that premises. And on one fine day, on 26th of August 2021, he made available the rice mill to the recipient. Now here, the movement of goods is not involved. What this fellow has done, this fellow went there and has set up the machinery. Okay, now he has made available. So at the time of making available or before that event, the invoice is to be issued. The invoice is to be issued. That you should understand. So as per section 31, when invoice is to be issued for supply of goods, if supply of goods involve movement, then invoice is to be issued at the time of removal or prior to that. In any other case, at the time of delivery or at the time of making the goods available to the recipient. There will be something called as continuous supply. There will be something called as continuous supply. Continuous supply. Continuous supply, wherein periodical statements or periodical payments are involved. Payments are involved. Okay, there will be something called as continuous supply. Continuous supply involves periodical payments or periodical issue of statements. You can understand this better with the help of an example. I will tell you, one of my client has a factory which manufacture ice. Now, that is situated in the place called Bhairavapatnam. Okay, it is in in Krishna district only. Now his high there is a ONGC oil extraction site, crude oil extraction site. While extracting this oil, first of all, they will get gas. Now, what they will do, this gas will be supplied to industries through a pipeline. Now, this pipeline is connected to my client's factory, ice manufacturing factory. So they will continuously supply gas. They will continuously supply natural gas. Natural gas is the fuel for running this factory. To run this machinery, they use gas. Okay. Now, what this ONGC fellow will do is every month he issues a statement. What is that statement? On 5th of every month. On 5th of the every month, he issues a statement. What does the statement contain? Opening meter reading, blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry, not opening. Closing reading, blah, blah, blah. Less opening reading, blah, 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 blah. So build units. Build units into rate. Okay. No, some of you may think that natural gas is not into the GST net currently. As per section 9, it will be brought into the GST net on a date which has been recommended by the GST council in the future. Blah, blah, blah. Everything is there. I am telling you an example. Okay, I am telling you an example. So here, this is a example of a continuous supply wherein periodical statements are involved. In such a case, invoice is to be issued at the time of issue of that statement or before that. Sometimes periodical payments are involved. Then invoice is to be issued at the time of receipt of each such payment or prior to receipt of such payment. So that is how the invoices are to be issued as per section 31 in respect of goods. Now, what is the time of supply? What is the time of supply in respect of goods sent on sale or approval basis? Sale or approval basis. Sale or approval basis. Goods are sent on sale or approval basis. Now, I am at Vijayawada. I am the supplier. B is at Hyderabad. Who is the recipient? Now, I have sent goods on sale or approval basis. Sale or approval basis. Okay. Then, what is the time of supply? Time of supply is, what is the time of supply? Time of supply or when invoice is to be issued. When the invoice is to be issued. The invoice has to be issued from 6 months from date of removal. Means on 13th of August 2021, I have sent the goods to Hyderabad on sale or approval. So 6 months from the date of removal or at the time of supply. Now, what is supply? After, let us say, 2 months, this fellow told that I am accepting. Then immediately, this by this time invoice is to be raised. But for 6 months, this fellow never told me that he is going to accept the supply. So by the end of 6 months from the date of removal, the invoice is to be raised. The invoice is to be raised. That is for goods sent on sale or approval basis. So time of supply for goods sent on sale or approval basis. Time of supply for goods sent on sale or approval basis. Where is it? Yes. Where the goods being sent or taken on approval for sale or return are removed before the supply takes place, the invoice shall be issued before or at the time of supply or 6 months from the date of removal, whichever is earlier. This is as per section 31. Okay. Now, moving forward, Spinix Private Limited entered into a contract for supply of 100 office chairs at the rate of 15,000 with Joy sales on 21st August. Chairs are removed from the warehouse on September 5th along with the invoice of event date. So invoice is issued at the time of removal. Joy Sales has paid 30% of the total contract value on August 21st. So what is the date of invoice? Date of invoice is 5th September 2021. 30% is paid on 21st August. Balance is 70% is paid on 10th of September. Okay. Now, actually, for time of supply of goods forward charge, the date of payment or the date of receipt of payment is not to be considered. Only 2 points have to be considered. What are those 2 points? Point number 1 is date of invoice or last day on which the invoices ought to have been issued. Date of invoice or last day on which the invoices ought to have been issued, whichever is earlier, only you have to take. Now here, the supply involves movement. The supply involves movement. Therefore, date of removal should be the date of invoice also. So invoice is also issued on 5th. Invoice is also issued on 5th at the time of removal. At the time of removal. Therefore, 5th September will be the time of supply for all the 100 office shares. You should not take the date on which the payment has been received. It is not relevant for determining time of supply of goods forward charge. Okay. So for forward charge goods, GST is not payable on advance. That has been relaxed by virtue of notification number 66/2017 issued on the recommendation of the GST Council in accordance with the powers vested with the central government under section 148 of the CGST Act. Okay. Now, we have a pictorial representation of time of supply of goods under forward charge, date of issue of invoice or last date of issue of invoice under section 31. So what is the last date of issue of invoice under section 31? If the supply involves removal of the goods, date of removal is the last date on which you have to issue the invoice. In any other case, the last date of issue of invoice is time of delivery or the date on which the goods are made available to the recipient. As far as date of payment is considered, now these 2 points are not relevant. These 2 points are not relevant. Date of receipt of payment by the recipient means date recorded in the books of account of the recipient or date on which it is credited to the bank account of the recipient, whichever is earlier, is not at all relevant for time of supply goods forward charge by virtue of notification number 66/2017 and has been issued in accordance with the power vested with the central government under section 148 of the CGST Act. Only this thing has to be taken, date of issue of invoice or last date of issue of invoice, whichever is earlier. Someone does someone have any doubt? I could not hear you properly because your voice is in a disturbed mode. Or you may type your query in the chat box because I am unable to hear to you properly. Generally, most of you might be using your mobile connections, wherein the mobile connection network will be a bit unstable. Are you typing the message in the chat box? What you have asked, I could not be able to listen to you. Point number 1. If you have any query, try to be clear or type your query in the chat box so that I will be able to explain. No, all of you are in the class. Are you listening to me or am I telling to myself? So should I conduct a poll? So I have launched a poll. All of you answer. Right. 22 of you have answered. out of which 21 have answered that they are listening, and we have one rebel star who states that he is not listening. So I should appreciate for your frankness. Okay. So the person who is not listening, can I know as to why he is not listening? He or she, maybe. So 5 have not answered. Actually, before the poll started, there were 28. One of you have left. So 5 have not answered. 22 have answered, out of which 21 are telling that they are listening. And there is a rebel star. He or she says that they are not listening. So can I know why you are not listening? Right, let me move forward with that note. So, by the powers vested with the government under section 148, they have dispensed with the troll 2, only troll 2A will be taken. So, time of supply, goods, forward charge only. The date of receipt of payment is not taken, it will not be taken into consideration. This is only for forward charge, not a reverse charge. That you have to understand. Now, let us understand by way of an illustration. A machine has been supplied at a site. Machine has to be supplied at a site. It is done by sourcing various components from vendors and assembling the machine at a site. The details of now, what is now let us understand what is the time of supply. Tell me. Actually, goods forward charge. What is, how to determine time of supply currently? Time of supply is date of invoice or last day on which invoice is ought to be issued. Ought to be issued. Now, as per section 31, when invoice is to be issued in respect of supply of goods which involves movement, it should be issued latest by date of removal, or in any other case it has to be issued at the time of delivery or time when it is made available. Now this is assembling of machine at the site. So time when it is made available, invoice is to be issued. Invoice is to be issued, time when it is made available. Purchase order with advance is received. Advance has no role to play in time of supply goods forward charge. The advance has no role to play. The worth of the machine is 12 lakh and for advance entry is made in the books. So this has no relevance. The machine is assembled, tested and accepted by the buyer. So this is the date on which made available. Made available. Invoice is raised on 23rd October. Wrong. Why? The last date to raise the invoice is the date on which the goods are made available. Goods are made available on 20th. 4th November, balance payment received. Receipt of payment is not a criteria at all to determine the time of supply for a goods forward charge. Therefore, in the given case, invoice is to be issued latest by the date on which the goods are made available. It is 20th of October. By that time, invoice has to be raised. 20th October or date of invoice 23rd October, whichever is earlier. 20th October is the earlier date. So time of supply is 20th October. That you should understand. Now go to illustration number 2. Gas is supplied by a pipeline to the recipient. The supply is to be made for a period of 1 year. Monthly payments are to be made by the recipient as per the contract. So this is a continuous supply. This is a continuous supply. In respect of continuous supply of goods, as per section 31, invoice is to be issued at the time of or before each such statement is issued, or at the time of or before each such payment is received. Now in the given case, the payments are made on July 5th, August 5th, September 5th. So time of supply will be July 5th, August 5th and September 5th for 2 lakh each. For 2 lakh each. Okay. Excess payment up to 1,000. This I have explained to you yesterday. What has happened is, sometimes I told you the example of a Kirana shop, wherein the bill was 3,980. But how much I gave? 4,000 I have given. So excess, how much I have given? Excess of rupees 20. Excess of rupees 20. So for this 20, time of supply can be taken as date of issue of invoice for this 20 rupees. This 20 rupees invoice will be generated in the next billing cycle. But this has been given as an advance. Actually, if the amount is received, first it should be the time of supply. But of course, by virtue of notification number 66/2017, for forward charge goods, it has no relevance. For forward charge goods, this point has no relevance because advance is not chargeable in respect of goods. In respect of goods. Okay. Goods forward charge. Next. If date of invoice or date of payment is not available, then you have to go to the residuary clause. You have to go to the residuary clause. What is the residuary clause? Where periodical returns are to be filed, the due date for filing the return. In any other case, the date on which tax is paid is the residuary provision. We will discuss at the last point. Now coming to time of supply, coming to time of supply for reverse charge. So here the time of supply for reverse charge is dealt by section 12 subsection 3. Now what does it say? Date on which goods are received, date on which payment is recorded in the books of accounts, or date on which the same is debited in the bank account, whichever is earlier, date immediately following 30 days from the date of issue of invoice by the supplier, means 31st day. Okay, here we have 4 points. Point number 1, 2 and 3, 4. Now this is reverse charge goods. Reverse charge goods. Reverse charge goods. So what are the dates? Date of receipt of goods. Receipt of goods. Date of recording payment in books. Date on which payment is debited in the bank account. Finally, 31st day from date of invoice issued by supplier, whichever is earlier. This will be the time of supply. This will be the time of supply for reverse charge goods. Here notification number 66/2017 is not applicable, because 66/2017 is applicable to only section 12 clause 2A only. So here regarding the payment in the books, date on which payment is debited in the bank account of the recipient, 31st day of date of issue of invoice by the supplier, whichever is earlier, is to be taken as time of supply. Suppose you are unable to determine the time of supply in accordance with these parameters, then what will be the time of supply? The date on which the date of entry of goods in the books of account of the recipient will be the time of supply. Now, the relief of not paying at the time of receipt is not applicable. It is applicable to only forward charge. It is not applicable to reverse charge. Now let us understand this with the help of an illustration. Supplier invoices goods taxable on reverse charge basis to Bridge & Co. 30 days from the date of issuance of invoice will lapse on June 3rd. So 31st day will be June 4. Will be June 4. 30 days will lapse on June 3rd. So 31st day will be June 4. Receives goods on May 12. Makes the payment on May 30. makes the payment on May 30. So of these three, whichever is earlier, 31st day of issue of invoice is June 4th. Goods are received on May 12th. Payment is made on May 30th. Whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier means May 12th is earlier. So this will be the time of supply. This will be the time of supply. Now, supplier invoices goods taxable on reverse charge basis 30 days from the date of issuance of invoices will lapse on June 3rd. So what is 31st day? 31st day is June 4. Receives goods which were held up in transit June 12. Payment made for the goods July 3rd. Whichever is earlier? June 4 is earlier. June 4 is earlier. So time of supply is June 4. Time of supply is June 4. Now, this is represented by a flowchart. This is represented by a flowchart. Here is the flowchart. So here is the flowchart. So time of supply is date on which goods are received, date on which payment is recorded in the books of the recipient, date on which payment is debited in the bank account of the recipient, 31st day from the date of invoice. Whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier is the time of supply. Whichever is earlier is the time of supply. Okay. Now, if you are unable to know any of these 4 points, then the time of supply is date on which goods are recorded in the books of the recipient. Okay. Next, we'll move forward. The previous answer, June 4. June 4. Now, whether now I should, it's my responsibility to know whether all of you are following my class or not. It is one of my primary responsibility. Okay, Shashikiran Reddy, are you listening? Viresh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Shashikiran Reddy not available. Aditya Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shivani? Okay, Shivani tried to unmute herself and speak, but I am unable to listen. And Shivani gave me a chat message. Amulya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Amulya tried to answer, but because of the bandwidth issue. Right. So you are listening. So anyone have any doubt? Srishti, do you have any doubt with regard to today's session?
No, sir.
No. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now, shall I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What question shall I ask you? You pose the question for yourself and answer.
Sir, you pose the question, I'll be answering.
Okay, I have sent the goods on a sale or approval basis. When should I issue the invoice? I have sent the goods on sale or approval basis. When should I issue the invoice?
Sir, I'm unable to recollect it.
You are unable to?
Unable to recollect it, sir.
Okay, you are unable to recollect. Are you preparing the notes every day for that class? Once the class is completed, are you writing the notes?
Yes, sir.
Shall I believe it? Okay. So for the time of supply for goods sent, or for that matter, invoice is to be issued for goods sent on sale or approval basis within 6 months from the date of removal or at the time of supply, whichever is earlier. So someone give me, okay, 6 months from the date of removal. Right. Time of supply, supply of vouchers exchangeable for goods. So what do you mean by voucher? I have explained it to you yesterday at length. What do you mean by voucher? I have explained it to you yesterday at length. Can someone recollect as to what I have told, what example I have told for these vouchers? Can anyone recollect?
Sir, that cloth example.
I went to Lifestyle. I bought clothes worth 8,000 rupees. That fellow gave me 2,000 worth voucher, and he told me to come for Happy Deepavali and buy 10,000 worth of goods, clothes, wherein he will give me a discount of, or he will redeem that voucher for 2,000. Okay. So that example you have to recollect today, because we are analyzing the time of supply for vouchers. Okay. Now, why do I tell all those examples? Lifestyle, or my client has a ice factory wherein the goods are supplied through gas is supplied through pipe. My client installs dal mill machinery. Now, why do I tell all these examples? Am I telling all these examples for fun? No. I tell all these examples because it will help you in recollecting the provision to some extent. So, in future, whenever you come across this point of voucher, you should be able to recollect my example of Lifestyle. My going to Lifestyle for Happy Dasara, buying clothes for 8,000 rupees, again going to Lifestyle for a Happy Deepavali, buying clothes for 10,000 rupees, and then my giving that voucher of 2,000 rupees, that fellow redeeming it and taking only balance 8,000 from me. All these things you should be able to recollect. So that is why every day I will try to put before you some examples. I will try to put before you many examples so that you will be able to recollect with the help of the example, the provision you will be able to recollect. Now, so what is the time of supply for exchangeable vouchers for goods? Date of issue of voucher if supply is identifiable. For identifiable supply, I gave you the example of cloth. For unidentifiable example, at the time of issue, if the supply is not identifiable, the date of redemption. For redemption, what example I gave? Non-identifiable.
Amazon.
Amazon voucher. Amazon example I gave. That fellow gave me a voucher of 500 rupees and he told that you can redeem it on Amazon. I never know whether that 500 I will be using to purchase rice. I never know whether I will be using that voucher for the purpose of buying headphones. I never know whether I would be utilizing that voucher for the purchase of a mouse. I don't know. So, at the time of issue of voucher, the supply is not identifiable. Then the time of supply of the voucher will be the date of redemption, because on the date of redemption, we know the supply. Acme Sales Limited sells food coupons to a company. The company gives these coupons to its employees as a part of the agreed perquisites. The coupons are to be redeemed for purchase of food or provision in the outlets that are part of the program. Now, the coupons will, so what is the supply against with these coupons is not known, because my company gave me, I am an employee of X Limited. As a part of my contract for agreement, I was told that I will be given 30 coupons. I was told that I will be given 30 coupons. You know, my father used to have shares in a company. What is that company? It is a cloth mill. What is that company? Okay, I am unable to recollect the name of that company, but why I am telling you this? Why I am telling you is, every year they used to send a AGM notice. Every year they used to send AGM notice. Along with the AGM notice, they used to send coupons. They used to send coupons. Bombay dyeing, let us say. It's not Bombay dyeing, but some other company, I don't remember exactly. They send coupons. This coupon I can take to their outlet, and I will get a discount of 5%, 10% like that. Now this, we know that this is cloth. Okay. But my company, as a part of my contract for employment, promised me 30 coupons every day. Each coupon is worth 100 rupees. What I can do? On any day, I can go to a canteen where these coupons are accepted. I can have my lunch or a breakfast or evening snack. Okay. Or I may go to a provision shop which accepts this coupon or which is a part of this program. I can go and buy rice. I can buy shampoo. I can buy, what else I can buy? Soap, shaving cream, perfume, cashew nut, anything I will buy. Whatever I am in requirement, I will buy what is there. So at the time of issue of the coupon, we don't know the supply. Because with one coupon, I may go to restaurant. With one coupon, I will buy rice unbranded, nil rate. With one coupon, I will buy shampoo. Of course, only little hair is left. So for some more 3 or 4 years, I will be fortunate enough to use that shampoo. After that, no need of shampoo at all for me. Or I may buy a hair dye. What is there? Okay, for applying hair dye, so that my hair will become or my hair looks black and I may look younger. So I will take that coupon and go and redeem it for a hair dye. What is there? After all, Akshay Kumar is using hair dye. Why can't I? Okay. So and he promotes and he instigates me to use that hair dye, which you can use it in 3 minutes or 2 minutes like that. He will tell in TV. He will come and tell, and he will try to influence me, and he will try to motivate me to use that. What is there? I may purchase those sachets. In 3 minutes, my hair will become black. What is there? That hair dye may be chargeable at 18%. The unbranded rice nil rate. Or a shampoo may be 12%. Only example I am telling. So at the time of issue, I don't know the supply. So at the time of redemption, it will be the time of supply. Let's check another example. Let's check another example where with each purchase of large pizza during Christmas from Perfect Pizza, with 20 rupees I can buy voucher. That is how they will induce you. They are getting 20 rupees now and they are making you to come to their shop one more time. You went in for a pizza, knowingly or unknowingly one day to that shop. You bought the pizza, you paid the money. The sales girl at the counter will motivate you to buy a coupon for 20 rupees, and she will say that the next time you come here, we will be giving you a pizza free. By that, what is happening is they are making you a customer the next time also. This time they are getting an extra of rupees 20. In this case, is the supply known now itself? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What is the supply?
Pizza.
Pizza. Next time also you will get pizza only. You won't get a burger. You are getting next time also pizza only. Now here, the time of supply is the date of issue of the 20 rupees voucher. Because the supply is already known. Because the supply is already known. Now this is depicted by way of a flowchart that you can understand. Now, time of supply of goods in residual cases. I am unable to determine the time of supply in any of the aforesaid provisions. By applying any of the aforesaid provisions, subsection 2, subsection 3, subsection 4, I am unable to determine the time of supply. Then you have a residuary provision in section 12, subsection 5 for goods. That is, if periodical returns are to be filed, due date for filing, and in any other case, the date on which GST is paid. The date on which GST is paid. Now, this is the graphical representation of residual cases. Next, time of supply in case of enhancement on the value on account of interest or late fees for delayed payment. This yesterday I discussed at length. It will be the time of supply will be the date of receipt of interest. The date of receipt of interest. Now this we will discuss elaborately when you go to the how to determine the value of supply. In that chapter, we will discuss at length. Now, illustration. Radha Traders sold goods to Shyam on 6th June with a condition that interest at 2% will be charged if Shyam's sales fail to make payment within 15 days. Goods were delivered. Invoice was issued on 6th June. Now, Shah paid consideration on 6th July, along with applicable interest. So, for sales, the time of supply will be 6th June. Okay. For interest, time of supply will be 6th July. Because on 6th July, they received the interest payment. Okay. So I am afraid that we ran out of time for today. It's almost 4:51. Now this is, somebody has a doubt. Can I time of when goods are sent on sale or approval basis? Sale or approval basis. Okay, I will do that. What is there? Now this is the graphical representation of time of supply for goods, which has been given by way of a flow chart. This is for you to have a bird's eye view of time of supply. Now, one of our friend is asking me to explain the time of supply for goods sent on sale or approval basis. I will do that, no issue. Now, you pay attention. Now, I will tell you. Goods are sent on sale or approval basis. Now it is goods forward charge. Goods forward charge. What is the time of supply for goods forward charge? It is date of invoice or last date on which invoice ought to have been issued. Because the date of receipt of payment by the supplier is not, it is not relevant. By virtue of notification 66/2017, section 148. Only these two. Okay. Now, as per section 31, invoice in case of sale or approval Now, first of all, you should understand the concept of sending goods on sale or approval. First of all, you should understand the concept of sending goods on sale or approval. What is that? I am A in Vijayawada. There is someone B in Hyderabad. There is someone B in Hyderabad. On 13th August, I am sending goods on sale or approval. Now, this is not a supply. This is not at all a supply. This is only sending the goods on sale or approval basis to that fellow. I am sending. Okay. Now, for this sending the goods, I should raise an invoice. I should raise an invoice. A supply is complete only when the other fellow accepts it. B has not given his acceptance till now. Till now, it is not a supply at all, because the other fellow, when will a supply complete? A supply will complete only when the other fellow will accept. Only when the other fellow accept. Now, from here, he has 6 months of time. So what is 6 months? September, October, November, December, January, February. 12th of February 2021. 13th is the date of removal. Okay. 12th is 6 months. 12th is 6 months. 12th, sorry, this is 12th of February 2022. of February 2022. Now, let us say this fellow on 1st January 2022 made a phone call to me and hello sir, good morning, happy new year 2022. I am accepting the goods sent on sale or approval. Okay. Now this date becomes important for me. This date or this date, whichever is earlier. This date or this date, whichever is earlier. So the time of supply will be 1st of January 2022. Why? On that day, he called me, wished me happy new year 2022, and he accepted my goods sent on sale or approval. Now the supply has taken place because that fellow has accepted. So this date or 6 months from the date of removal, that is 12th of February, whichever is earlier. Now 1/1/2022 will be the time of supply. Let us assume that this worst fellow B never called me. This worst fellow B did not call me until 12th February 2022. Until 12th February 2022, he never called me. In between, there was a Happy Dasara, Happy Christmas, Happy Deepavali, Happy New Year, everything was there. He never called me worst fellow. Then time of supply will not wait indefinitely. Time of supply will strike on 12/2/2022, 6 months from the date of removal. Time of supply will strike, and the time of supply will be 6 months from the date of removal, that is 12th of February 2022. Now, by this time, I suppose you should have, or you might have understood. So, Deepak, did you understand the time of supply for goods sent on sale or approval basis? Now, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good. So, what we'll do is we'll continue the session tomorrow.